Well, here we are in Jersey's General Hospital, the Chevalier Emergency Assessment Unit, where you are off today to get taken out to Oxford Hospital after suffering a heart attack. Can you tell us what's happened here?
I was at work Friday morning, felt a pain in my chest, went dizzy, felt sick, and I kind of suspected what it was. Managed to get myself to hospital and basically went through all the procedures in the intensive care unit, and they suspected a heart attack.
So,
but it didn't come as much of a surprise to me.
It didn't come as a surprise to you. We were chatting earlier, and you said that you've never had anything like this, any heart problems. None of your family have ever had any heart problems. Why didn't it come to why was it no surprise to you?
Because of the stress I've been put under by the states of Jersey, government, the police, lawyers, law officers department.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? What kind of stress?
Yeah, as I said to Mike Dunn in my interview a couple of weeks ago, it's just been one non-stop roller coaster ride with the police and the judiciary since I got here. Never really done anything wrong. I mean, I don't steal anything, I don't rob anybody, I don't mug old grannies, you know. So I don't deal drugs, I don't drink drive. I mean,
you think you've been?
They're just afraid of the word no. They've probably never heard it before I turned up.
So is it fair to say you lay the blame squarely for your heart attack on the Jersey judicial system, police?
Well, I mean, you can't do that, but being reasonable. I mean, it's got to be a huge factor. I mean, they've just had me so stressed out. I mean, I'm not talking about months here. I'm talking about years, even decades. But I'd say that's what the Jersey oligarchy do. They grind you down, wind you down. They pick on you. They drag you through the courts. They drag you through the police station. A few good beatings here and there, and they don't like anyone who goes against them. But they've never been up against this sort of pressure before. Nobody's ever questioned them before.
And because you were recently arrested for contempt of court, if I remember.
No.
No.
Suspected contempt of court.
Or alleged contempt of court. But it was there's glaring similarities, isn't there, between your arrests and the arrest of the former Health Minister Stuart Sivera, isn't it?
It's absolutely identical. It's the plan they've adopted and perfected over the decades, over the generations, and they're bloody good at it.
Your house was searched by the police after you were arrested. They didn't ask you to come to the police station, did they? They arrested you?
No, they just turned up in the middle of the street where I was working.
And arrested you?
Yeah,
in the middle of town?
Yeah.
Took your keys from you, searched you, and then went up and searched?
Well, they actually asked me if they were the house keys. So I said, well, there's somebody else's house keys. But obviously I couldn't hide them then, so they were going to get hold of them, and I knew what was going to happen.
So they took your computer, or computers, they took your mobile phone?
Yeah, they'd taken a few mobile phones, 2 computers.
Did they have a search warrant?
They had a permission note, I think we called it, on the last video I did. It certainly wasn't a search warrant, and certainly wasn't legal in any definitions of the. Well, sorry, it certainly wasn't lawful in any definition of the word lawful. I mean, it was.
And you.
It was just like a school teacher's note to a child, basically.
And you see this as? Do you see this as intimidation?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's just more pressure brought to bear. I mean, they know what evidence I've got against them, and I've got buckets of it. And this isn't just about on the street constables, and this goes right to the top. I mean, Michael Burt, for instance, I mean, he's our bailiff. As I said to Tom Grushy in the interview the other week, when the Avon and Somerset police came over, they did the investigation, disappeared, and I was fully sitting there expecting to be vindicated. I received a letter from Michael Burt, who was then the Attorney General, and he stated unequivocally that no wrongdoing had been perpetrated by anyone.
In the way of the police?
Police, lawyers, judiciary, and everything, yeah. And my trial tapes hadn't been doctored, the other tape recording I'd made hadn't been interfered with, the main prosecution witness last page hadn't been altered. Yet when it came to me asking for a copy of the Avon and Somerset police verifying all this, he flatly refused under that wonderful little guise of not in the public interest.
Yeah, that not in the public interest rears its ugly head quite often.
But what not in the public interest actually means is not in the states of Jersey, public limited liability company interest. It doesn't mean the actual general public.
So with this latest turn of events, with this heart attack you've suffered and all that, you're getting flown out to Oxford today.
If I can get my chains off.
Yeah. But the police, for instance, have still got your phone. We're talking a good couple of weeks now. They've had your phone.
It's been 23 days now.
23 days. It's over 3 weeks, and you still haven't got your phone or your SIM card back from the police. So you're going to be over in London, for instance, not being able to contact
Oxford.
Oxford. Not being able to contact anybody, not having any phone numbers because the police won't give you your phone back. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. So
this would suggest that we've got, if you're to be believed, the story, and there's no reason why we shouldn't believe, we've got a politicised police force. Is that what you're saying?
No, we've always had a politicised police force ever since the Germans left.
Would you say that it was the same with Lenny Harper and Graham Power, though?
Well, I mean, they were the only two that made any sort of difference, and look what happened to them. They were slapped in line just like we used to be.
And gotten rid of.
I've gotten rid of, indeed, yeah.
So it's your contention,
if as the old saying goes, if they can do it to Lenny and Graham, who am I? I'm just a carpet fitter.
Do you think it's time somebody like the English government or somebody steps in and tries to... Somebody's
is not a bad thing. The English government, they put these people in place.
So would you...
There'll be no recourse in England. That I can guarantee you.
Would you say the rule of law is broken down on this island? I mean, you're a blogger who speaks out against, a prolific blogger who speaks out against this government and its regime, as much such as myself and many others. Do you think they're just out to get you, to shut you up and to silence you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's no question about that whatsoever. I mean, I say the stuff they've done to me. I mean, hiding the Avon and Somerset police report from me, Michael Burt. I mean, and they're still doing it now. Then I had an advocate, as I said on Tom Grushy's video. I had an advocate, Barbara Corbett. They refused to give her a copy. I actually pre-warned her before she asked the police and the law officers for a copy. I said, beware of the flood and the fire.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they came back with the old flood story. So I asked her to...
That is the document you wanted?
Yeah, the Avon Somerset police report, yeah, that proved my trial tapes had been doctored and proved
has
tape
been lost
recording...
in a flood?
Oh, yes.
A flood at the police station?
Yes. Well, apparently it wasn't at the police station. They don't hold police documents at the police station, apparently.
But it's been lost in a flood?
It's been lost in a flood, yeah. And of course, like the smart people they are, they said they had it on the ground floor. And who keeps paper documents safe on the ground floor? But there again, I mean, as we all know, there'll be electronic copies, and they're telling me they don't have any of them. They told me that the Avon and Somerset police weed their files after 8 years, which is rather bizarre, considering lawyers are expected to keep their files for 20 years. Basically, I mean, that was told to me over a phone call by someone at the Avon and Somerset police.
It's just curious, isn't it, what's going on on this island?
I mean, I said to the two officers that turned up, I said, they asked me what I thought about them coming over and that. And I said, well, I think you're here to sweep the backyard out.
Yeah.
And how right I was. But in fairness to the two officers, the fact that Michael Birch refused to give me a copy of this report tells me that they have done their job properly. Why else would they hide it? Why would they not give it to my lawyer? Why would they say it had been lost in a flood? I asked my lawyer, I said to her, well, can you please write to the Avon and Somerset police, get a timeline for the length of time they have to keep evidence, ask them in writing if we've got a report, if we can have a copy of the report, either electronic or paper. And what was the other thing? Yeah, I asked also for my lawyer to get in touch with Michael Burt, the now bailiff, or the chief of police, Boron, and ask for details of the flood and the compensation paid out to the States of Jersey Police Incorporated. My lawyer hasn't even bothered doing that. She's failed on all of those requests.
So it's been
has she been got to as well?
So it's been a huge, long, hard slog, and for which should never have happened in your view. Should never have happened, and this has been, in your opinion, the huge contributing factor to this heart attack that you've just suffered.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it that stress is a large chunk of anybody's heart attack, really, or most people's. I mean, it's common knowledge. It's a massive contributing factor. But I mean, lately they've just been happening non-stop. Every time. I mean, I can't remember her name now. It's DC McCormack, who's supposed to be in charge of the investigation and looking after all my stuff. She won't even answer my phone calls the last 10 days. There's must be messages left for her. She won't get back to me. But I mean, obviously, I've run out of money because I've lost all my work since I've been blogging. The reason I had any work on Friday is because one of the shops I used to do work for, the owner came round to my house. They had to come round to my house because they couldn't get hold of me and ask if I could do a couple of rooms for him.
Because the police have got
Friday
your phone.
Yeah, because the police have got my phone, yeah.
So to end on,
I can't afford to buy another phone.
To end on, how do we sum this up? Is the rule of law is broken down in Jersey. We need outside intervention, and your heart attack was primarily brought on by the stress and everything that's involved, just trying to get a little bit of justice on this island. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been in this state for basically 17 years since I caught the 5 policemen out perjuring themselves, and that's where it's all stemmed from, really. They didn't want to do the 5 coppers, so they threw me in jail, fitted me up for something, threw me in jail, hoping that I wouldn't bother pursuing my complaint against the 5 coppers. In the meantime, I've caught another 4 coppers out perjuring themselves. That's still ongoing. I mean, that was 21st of June 2006. I actually audio recorded the police beating the crap out of me.
Yeah, you put that up on your blog as well, didn't you?
Well, the recording's not up on my blog because it's still ongoing. But right. I'll put some brief details about it.
Well, so to again, we've got to end it on here. You're off to Oxford to flying out 2 o'clock this afternoon for more tests on the heart and the rest of it. And well, all we can do is wish you luck and all going well. you'll be back blogging again. Hopefully you'll be publishing a blog today, and on your return...
Well, I won't. A friend of mine will. They'll be doing it on my behalf. But
and on your return, you're going to carry on blogging, despite this heart attack that you suffered today. You're still going to carry on fighting for justice on this island.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't killed me, so the fight continues. Summer's rather resilient, as you well know. Myself, yourself, Stuart, Rico. On we go, and we don't stop till we've no choice.